Carlos Alcaraz prepares for his new challenge. Carlos Alcaraz has returned to training 6 days after losing at the Australian Open, focusing on his next major goal, the ATP 500 in Rotterdam, where Jannik Sinner will not be present. The start of Carlos Alcaraz's season has not been as good as he had hoped, as his primary goal was to win the Australian Open, but it was not to be. An excellent Novak Djokovic ended his run in a memorable match where the Spaniard was clearly superior until a lapse cost him the match, ultimately losing in 4 sets. A tough blow, especially as Jannik Sinner climbed further toward the ATP #1 ranking after lifting the title. But there's no time to lose, and Alcaraz is already focusing on what's ahead. After returning to Spain and taking a few days to rest at home, the player from El Palmar is back on the court. He has work to do, as he often said in Melbourne. He is still refining details, polishing his new serve, and adapting to a slightly more powerful style of play. While he has it mostly under control, there are still aspects that need improvement. Additionally, he has changed his schedule this year, leaving him little time before he plays again. Instead of heading to South America as in previous years, this time he has decided to stay closer to home and will compete in the Rotterdam tournament starting next Saturday, where he will be the top seed following Sinner's withdrawal. It's a perfect opportunity to get back into the rhythm of play and spend more hours on the court. Winning the tournament would also be a significant morale boost. From the American Tour onward this year, he will have many points to defend, and he is not in a comfortable position to keep dropping in the rankings. He must deliver and win as much as possible. Sinner's only rival. With his great rival's victory in Australia, Alcaraz's lead in the major tournaments is narrowing. However, it's clear that Sinner and Alcaraz are the leading figures in tennis for the coming years. In fact, Italian tennis legend Nicola Pietrangeli stated in an interview with La Gazzetta dello Sport that he sees Alcaraz as the only player capable of beating Sinner. The only rival who can beat Sinner is Alcaraz, the rest are secondary actors. Pietrangeli believes his compatriot is unbeatable when in form. When he plays like this, he's invincible, only losing if he's sick or has slept poorly. A former #1 reveals what Alcaraz must improve. I'd like to see more consistency. The Spanish player's performance at the Australian Open, where he lost in the quarterfinals to Novak Djokovic, has led a well-known former tennis star to suggest a change in his game. The tennis world looks at Jannik Sinner and wonders if anyone can currently beat the Italian giant. His commanding win at his second consecutive Australian Open, where he dominated from start to finish and gave Alexander Zverev no chance in the final, cements his place as the king of the circuit. Alongside Carlos Alcaraz, he represents the present and future of world tennis. However, when discussing Alcaraz's performance in Melbourne, doubts about his game arise after his loss to Djokovic in the quarterfinals. Despite playing effectively up until that match, the Serbian's physical issues threw off Alcaraz, who struggled to handle the tennis hurricane that is Novak. Former #1 Jim Courier offered advice to the Spaniard to help him avoid similar slumps in high-stakes matches. I'd like to see more consistency from Alcaraz. He has the ability to dazzle us with the unexpected, but adding a bit more structure against all opponents will make him a more consistent player, the American said. He also emphasized the importance of lifting his level on days when Alcaraz isn't playing his best. I'd say his best day is probably the best day of anyone, but his worst day is a level below Djokovic and Sinner, and that's what he needs to improve. Regarding the match against Djokovic, the 4-time Grand Slam champion believed Alcaraz's tennis fell short of defeating the 24-time Grand Slam champion. These matches are exceptions to the rule. You can't play normal tennis and beat Novak. Dealing with an injured player, stepping out of his usual tactical zone, how do you adapt to that? These are lessons he will learn, and we hope they make him a better player, said Courier, who enjoys watching Alcaraz but expects more regularity from him. A direct message from Alcaraz to Sinner after winning the Australian Open. Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz have established an electrifying rivalry that has defined an era in contemporary tennis. In the last 5 Grand Slams, these two young prodigies have proven to be the circuit's clear leaders. The Italian has won 2 Australian Open titles and a US Open, while the Spaniard has countered with a Wimbledon and a Roland Garros, maintaining a narrow 4-3 overall lead for Alcaraz. However, despite their intense competition, they have yet to face each other in a Grand Slam final, a match fans eagerly await to see who will prevail on tennis's grandest stage. This rivalry, full of talent and spectacle, is uniquely captivating. Both players possess distinct but equally effective styles. Sinner, with his surgical precision from the baseline, and Alcaraz, with his ability to combine raw power and creativity in every point, have elevated the sport's quality and captured the imagination of fans worldwide. Their most recent encounter occurred at the Beijing tournament final in October, where Alcaraz broke the Italian streak. Since then, the world number one hasn't lost, accumulating an impressive 21-match winning streak. This dominance has further solidified his position atop the rankings and reaffirmed his status as a favorite in every tournament he enters. Recently, Sinner reached the Australian Open final by defeating Alexander Zverev in straight sets, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3. Immediately after the match, the Italian was quick to congratulate Alcaraz on his achievement as a two-time champion in Melbourne, a gesture that highlights the mutual respect between the two. Without a doubt, this rivalry promises to continue creating memorable chapters in tennis history. The truth about the relationship between Itana and Carlos Alcaraz. Since 2025 began, Itana Akanya has been a central figure in the celebrity world. The singer has been linked to several individuals in recent weeks, including her ex-partner Miguel Bernardo, after Semana magazine published recent photos of them together, as well as tennis player Carlos Alcaraz. Kiko Matamoros claimed on a program that the artist and the athlete had been involved in a relationship and also suggested that Itana had never been romantically involved with Sebastián Yatra. The first claim was debunked by Pedro Jota on the En Todas las Salsas podcast. The collaborator of this mad program stated that the Catalan singer and the Murcian tennis player have not been involved in anything. Carlos Alcaraz and Itana Akanya became the subject of rumors that caught their followers' attention after the singer's recent concert at the Movistar Arena, formerly known as the Wizink Center. Although speculation about a possible relationship between the world's number one tennis player and the Spanish pop star grew after photos of them together surfaced, sources close to them confirm there is nothing more than friendship. According to Pedro Jota, who spoke on the subject, Alcaraz attended the concert as a great admirer of Spanish music. Carlos loves Spanish music, he's a huge fan. He went to the dressing room, they took a photo, he said, making it clear that the meeting between the two has no romantic undertones. He also explained that their connection comes through a mutual friend, Sebastián Yatra. Itana and Alcaraz know each other thanks to Sebastián Yatra. They've seen him play at the Madrid Open, he added, highlighting their shared friendship. Despite the photos and evident mutual admiration, Pedro Jota was firm in denying any rumors of a romance between the singer and the tennis player. There's synergy, but they haven't been involved or been together. Everything else is pure fiction, he said, dispelling any misunderstandings and making it clear that their relationship has been exaggerated. The connection between Alcaraz and Itana reflects, rather, the natural intersection of two worlds, sports and music. For now, the only thing that unites these young stars seems to be shared admiration and friendship, leaving the rest to speculation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, because here at Tennis Zone, we're dedicated to bringing you the best content for the best audience. We offer in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and comprehensive coverage of everything related to the tennis world. Join our community and be part of the excitement of the tournaments with us. Plus, at Tennis Zone, we strive to provide you with up-to-date, high-quality content about players, tournaments, strategies, and the most relevant events in the tennis world.